Back to Spotlight now. Thanks for tuning in here on this Tuesday. We want to remind those of you who are watching at home that you can always engage in the conversation by entering your comments into the Facebook page of Hawaii News Now's platform, or you can scan the QR code right at the bottom of your screen and enter your questions. And now, Yanju, we transition to our next guest.
That's right. Dr. Jim Ireland is joining us live in the studio. Of course, the head of Ocean Safety and EMS. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And I'll say it's nice to be in the studio, not doing these by Zoom
Exactly.
as we did during COVID.
Very nice to see you in person. I want to start with some great news for EMS, a new recruit class coming through, and a lot of new hands on deck.
Yep, this is our fourth recruit class in the last 2 years. It's our largest recruit class, 26 graduates. They're on the ambulances as we speak, getting their kind of final evaluations, and they'll be cut loose to work independently probably in about 2 weeks or so, but we're very proud of them, and it'll definitely help because EMS is busier than ever, and you know, it's really, really busy.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the strain that has your department has had to go through, and adding these new recruits, what a difference that will make. What are some of the things that will immediately be able to help by getting this additional support on board?
Well, first of all, EMS is a stressful occupation. It's a profession that demands every day your best. And no matter what you see or do, you have to be still compassionate, give great care. And I feel like I'm on a championship team. I don't know if feel like I'm the player or the captain or the coach, but it's a championship team. We have just such great paramedics and EMTs. But it's stressful. In the last 2 days, we've had a 6-year-old fall out of a window. We've had a head-on collision yesterday in Eva Beach with critical injuries, cardiac arrest, beach emergencies, and so it's just that the need is so great. And nationally, EMS is struggling. Nationally, they're finding people are leaving the profession because of just how stressful it is. So the people that we have and are committed to this, they love the job, but it's busy, and at some point it gets too busy, even if you love the job. And so what these extra people will do is allow us to ideally prevent closures when we have people that are ill, and it will allow us to open up additional ambulances. And we have a plan for a few probably in February that we're going to open additional ambulances that were funded in last year's budget. And so we're excited about that because we can still provide the same great service, but each individual ambulance, our 21 ambulances, will respond to less calls if we can put more on the streets.
One of the things that was really supposed to help alleviate this pressure on your agency was the CORE program to try to answer some of the folks who were calling on a regular basis, who were in need of services, but maybe not having an emergency at the time. How has that come to bear? Have you seen an impact that CORE has had on the number of calls that you're having to respond to?
It's helping, but I'm going to challenge the CORE team in 2024 to even do more. We have great successes. We have numbers to show for it. But what I tell people, number one, I tell people if homelessness was easy, it would have been fixed already all across the country. So we know it's not easy. The second thing is no matter how good we do and how good our statistics are, if you can drive down King Street and see encampments and tents, there's a lot more work to do. And we know it's not just King Street. We know there's difficulties in Kalihi, Windward Side, Waianae, and each community I think has its own solution. But we're working very hard. I think we're collaborating more with the governor and his office and staff more than ever. And so I really think in 2024 we're going to see some major strides in our effort to combat homelessness.
But overall, do you think that this is a step in the right direction? How much of an impact has this program made, or what would be some of the key things that need to improve within the program for us to begin seeing some of those changes and more of a substantial improvement in this overall problem?
Well, one of the things we did is the city and the governor, we each opened up our own medical respites. Now, I think the governor's has temporarily closed and is moving. Ours is still open, but we used the core staff to open that. And then what I learned is now that took too many of our core staff off the streets to staff that respite. And so probably within the next week or two, we're going to transition the staffing of that respite to a nonprofit, pay them, and then use our core staff then rather than in-house in the shelter, getting them back out on the streets.
Okay, and the governor's program that you're referencing is the Kauhale across the street from Queens Medical Center. That they're going to be relocating in various areas, but not having it right across the street. Are you worried that that's going to have any kind of an impact? Because it is so nice for the folks who are discharged to be able to walk across the street and continue services.
Absolutely. And I go to weekly meetings with the various hospitals, including Queens Medical Center. And so we hope the city's respite will be able to fill those shoes, at least partially, if not more. Our city respite has about 20 beds. The governor's had about 10. So we feel that now transitioning to a nonprofit, we will still be able to help those people. And the goal is to get them out of the respite, to get them better, get them into either a small house village, maybe a nursing home, transitional shelter, some other more appropriate long-term place to stay.